There is a $1 billion industry hidden in plain sight, and you consume what it makes for hours every single day. Background music, traditionally known as production music or stock music, it's everywhere. You'll be surprised to hear who actually makes the music you hear in all your favorite TV shows. I'll tell you 3 main things causing this industry to explode in growth right now. It's an industry that's more than doubled in size in the past 10 years and is projected to double again in the next 5. All the major record labels that have the biggest pop stars and make some of the most popular hits, they have production music. Sam Smith, Bruno Mars, Lizzo, Glass Animals. Major record labels make their music available as stock and production music. Even new media companies producing their own web-only content are making their own production music. Because when you own the music in the TV shows, you're making the money. The production music industry, or what it's commonly known today as stock music, has been around for over 40 years, but it's changing faster than ever, and here are the reasons why. Point number 1, there's been an explosion of content creation. Not just YouTubers and content creators, but everything else. Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime, billions and billions of dollars are getting poured into content for the masses to watch, and when there's more TV to watch, there's more music to go with it. We're already aware of how much freaking content there is today compared to a few years ago. And once the streaming wars came into full effect, the pandemic came and poured gas onto the content creation fire. In 2020 alone, Netflix spent $17 billion on content. There's never been a greater demand for music for all of these TV shows and all of the YouTube content now being created. But this latest wave didn't start too long ago. In 2016, the global stock music market was valued at $500 million in the US alone. In 2020, that value rose to $964 million as an industry, and that number is expected to double to over $2 billion in the next 5 years. That's a growth rate of over 10% every year. Oh, that's real big. And there's a massive movement that's causing a lot of that growth that's not just driven by Netflix and Hulu and Amazon Prime, it's content creators. The second thing driving growth is the rise of creators. One of the key drivers of the global stock music industry is the rising adoption of the subscription model to pay for music. Millions of aspiring creators are making content with music from subscription-based libraries, and that's fueling the growth of the stock music market. Companies like Artlist, Epidemic Sound, Marmoset, Pleasant Pictures Music Club, go check out their music library, it's actually super dope. They did not pay me to say that. I'm just being a homie. The downside to all of that growth is that artists and musicians don't see the royalties. Now, producers know what they're getting into when they're making royalty-free music for creators to use, but there's usually some other way of licensing companies returning that value to the producers and artists that make that music. What's common is an artist or a producer will get paid a lump sum of money on a yearly basis or a quarterly basis based on how many times their song within a subscription service was downloaded by creators. TV, on the other hand, can still pay out really good broadcast royalties. But even then, nowadays there's a new trend of TV production companies buying out performance royalties from artists in deals known as direct licensing, so that they don't have to pay out the artist over time for years and years to come, which is not cool. But right now there's so much content being made that there's enough work to go around. And lately, most of that has been in part because of the pandemic. Everybody stayed home, got bored, and those who couldn't tour or play live anymore made more music. And everybody who didn't make music stayed home and watched more TV, so more TV got made. Look, nobody wanted the pandemic to happen, but the silver lining that emerged was that if you were ready to make music that was ready for TV, you've probably heard of opportunities to do that since the beginning of 2020. I truly believe that there's never been a better time than now to make a living as a music producer, in part, or mostly, because of how the stock music industry or the production music industry has exploded. Even if you're trying to produce or make beats for artists, there's a lot more work going around to keep good producers busy, because almost every producer is going to have multiple projects going at the same time to earn money. But those who stick to it and continue leveling up their skills will eventually get their music into the right hands. All it takes is one opportunity to get to the next level. If you're still watching this video, stop and go make some music. Bye.